Hi class, Miss Womack here with more practice on law of sines. So in this problem we are looking for an opposite relationship in order to be able to use the law of sines. And we're asked to solve for side AC that we see right here. And that would be opposite of angle B, which is over here. Now I actually had a student that said it's a lot easier, Miss Womack, if you just simply draw an arrow between the side over here and the angle like that. And I was like, that's a great idea. I think I'll do that. Thank you very much, Miss Deja. And so we'll go ahead and begin setting up our problem here. We see that we're solving for what's opposite of B, and I've been using lowercase b just to reestablish opposite. So that side B over the sine of 22 degrees is equal to, now we're looking for another opposite relationship on this particular one to be able to solve the problem. Now the only side that I have to choose from is this 24. So I know, and again, to find the opposite side of that, if you're having trouble with that, maybe that arrow is helping you with that. So we don't actually have C. So we'll actually use the what we talked about in class, where the three angles of the interior angles of a triangle add up to be 180 degrees. So do a quick subtraction problem and you'll have what you need to proceed. Again, I'm taking the 118 and the 22 away from 180. And when we do that, we actually end up with 40 degrees, which is going to be this angle opposite of 24. There would be a 40 degrees right there. So we can proceed with solving our problem. And in this video, I'm just going to focus on setting them up. We'll talk about calculator functions and solving them, or the calculator functions later. Okay. So we'll just focus on setting them up and finding opposite here. On this one, again, to set them up, I see that the 7 is opposite of the 44, and I am trying to solve for side AB, and the 53 is in fact opposite of AB. So I will say C over sine 53. And I'm just using one letter because having multiple variables up there might be a little confusing, is equal to 7 over the sine, that's a lousy 7, of 44 degrees. We'll continue on. Problem 3. Again, looking for that opposite relationship. I do see that I need to solve for BC. That's going to be this side right here, which is opposite of angle A over here. Again, we see that opposite relationship. I'll say side A because it's opposite of A, over the sine of 39 degrees is going to be set equal to, and I know I have to use the 27, which is right here. I must use that, and I do not have angle B, so I'll have to subtract again. I'll have to do 180 minus 51 minus 39, and when I do that, I get I get 90 degrees, and now I can proceed. Which, by the way, I could apply the right triangle rules to this if I wanted to, but I think that using the law of sine is actually simpler than the SOHCAHTOA. Alright, again, continue setting them up. A couple people in class having a difficult time seeing that 110 is actually going with the B right here, and the 63 with C. So we'll be solving for AB. That side is right here. Its opposite side is going to be, go through the triangle to the opposite side, it's going to be where angle C is at. So we will say that side, little side c, over the sine of 63. Now, I'm using that little side c just to emphasize opposite. It does mean side AB is going to be set equal to, once again, we have to use our knowledge of the sum of the interior angles of a triangle. We'll do 180 minus 101 minus 63. Subtract all of that. We get 16 degrees, and now we know how to set up the rest of the problem. And that opposite relationship from 9 is why we got that. So we'll put 9 on top and the sine of 16 on the bottom. Continuing on, we're finding BC, that's opposite of 93. I'll call that lowercase a just to emphasize that, over sine of 93 degrees will be equal to, oops, and there's nothing on opposite of 58, so I have to rethink this. We have to go opposite of that side, 16, because that's the only information I have to use. So I'm going to have to once again do the 180 minus 93 minus 58, and we get 29 degrees. So we'll do that. Now again, in this video, so far we've been looking for sides, and we will talk about solving these in class. I just want you to practice setting them up. Make sure you set them up correctly. And we've actually solved them completely in class, just to show you how easy they are. I see an opposite relationship here. I'm trying to find angle C, and that's opposite of 21. So we will say that 21, and this time we have sides and we're looking for an angle. We talked about how we set those up a little differently when we solve them with the calculator. Sine C, and that will be angle C, is going to be equal to, and we'll use the 26 over the sine of 88 degrees. Here we see 82 and 29. So we can begin that way if we want to. Just put the sine of 82. Make sure you answer the problem though, right? Angle C is opposite of 20. So that'll set equal to 20 over the sine of C. Make sure each time you do this, you only have one variable. Alright, so this one we're finding angle C, which is right here, opposite. Now, this is kind of confusing for some folks. They didn't know what to do with that 103. It actually goes with angle A, right up here. So we'll be setting this up with 6 being opposite of the sine of C is equal to, and we'll use this opposite relationship right here. Let me clear that up a little bit so you can see the 103. 26 over 103, the sine of 103. All right. Number 9, some people are having difficulty with this one. That's going to be angle B. 129 goes there, which means its opposite side is actually 33. And we are solving for the measure of angle A, which is here, which that opposite side is all the way down there, the 11. So once you get those two, we'll put all the pieces together, and we see that side 11 over the sine of A, because that's the one we're solving for, is equal to 33 over the sine of 129. Last one. Not too bad, huh? Our opposite relationship here, and we need to find the measure of C. Opposite is going to be 19. Go ahead and set that up. 19 over the sine of C is equal to 22 over the sine of 97. now degrees. So I do have another video that talks about how we enter it into the calculator and also the math that we do behind it. Just wanted to focus on setting up 1 through 10.